What is going on today, guys? Hope you guys are doing well. Today, I just wanted to talk about a comment that I had gotten. And essentially the comment said, well, the wages are depressed because too many people have been talking up fuel hauling. So fuel hauling is full. We don't need any more people in fuel hauling. So in this video, I'm going to talk about that specific topic, as far as gatekeeping goes, and if there are actually areas in fuel hauling where the wages are suppressed because there's too many people in it, or if it's just certain markets or whatnot. The reality is, as a whole, the job market has shrunk quite a bit from a few years ago because interest rates went up. Employers stopped expanding their business nearly as much because the interest rates went up. And so they didn't have that extra money to borrow at a cheap rate to be able to expand their businesses. So as a whole, yeah, it's the job market has slowed substantially because of that. Now, in regards to fuel hauling specifically, I'm not going to be able to find any numbers on, are there areas where the wages are suppressed other than what I can see, which is, yes, for fuel hauling, there are areas where the wages are more suppressed than in other areas. Now, is that because it's fuel hauling, or is it because everybody has flooded that market and they want to live there, they want to retire there? And I'm talking about Florida, I'm talking about Texas, I'm talking about the South in general, where it's generally a lower cost of living. Not always. Florida is kind of high, but where it's a lower cost of living than in a lot of other places in the US. And the weather's good most of the year. They don't have to deal with ice. They don't have to deal with snow on a regular basis. It's pretty easy to work outside on a regular basis outside of, the summer months. And again, I've mentioned this in previous videos. Not every job is going to work for you, let alone every company is going to work for you in every single market. So come to find out, the guy that I was going back and forth with that made this comment, he's from Arkansas. And again, he didn't say what company he was working for, but Gemini makes a pretty good living down there. I have heard and I've talked to several Gemini drivers that live down in Arkansas, and they seem to do just fine on $27 to $29 an hour starting in Arkansas. Now, is that the case in Florida? Probably not. It's a much more expensive market depending upon exactly where you are. But again, you have to make that decision if it's going to be worth it for you. And the reality is there's a few things that you can do to help you in that situation. So if you're trying to get into Gemini or any good reputable fuel hauling company and you're just trying to get your experience and then move over to Gemini, guess what? If you want to make more money once you get here to Gemini, you can transfer and go anywhere in the lower 48 states, so long as you've been here for a year, and the RMs on both sides approve it. But you can transfer to where you make more money. Again, if you want to make $34 to $36 an hour, there's only 5 states and a handful of cities that will actually pay you at a base rate of $34 to $36 an hour, like I started at in Wyoming. Outside of that, if you want to stay in the state that has a lower wage or is harder to get into a decent company like Gemini in, that's fine. That's the trade-off you're making for whatever reason it is, whether it's family in the state or you just don't want to move anywhere else. That's fine. But you have to realize that, again, for example, and specifically in Florida, Gemini was getting 500 applications within a week time period for a single opening in Florida. And that doesn't include the current Gemini drivers from all the other states that may want to transfer down, that get put at the top of the list if they want to get transferred down over external hires. Meanwhile, in places like Oklahoma, Gemini just hired somebody fresh out of school who has 0 driving experience, 0 fuel hauling experience, and she just started on a day shift down in Oklahoma. So this is completely market dependent. It's not just, fuel hauling as a whole is, there's too many people, the wages are suppressed. That's not the case everywhere. Again, it comes back to how badly do you want to make the most amount of money, and what are you willing to trade off for that? Are you willing to move to one of the 5 states, which is Wyoming, Colorado, Montana, Washington or Oregon to be able to make $34 to $36 an hour starting? Or do you want to stay where you're currently at because, you know, the wages are fine? I just saw a job posting in Davenport, Iowa, $30 to $32 an hour starting for Gemini Motor Transport. That seems pretty fair for Iowa. So again, it's very market specific. And the next biggest thing you have to consider too is if you live below your means and you're not living paycheck to paycheck and you're not up to your eyeballs in debt payments, it's not the end of the world if you're making a slightly lower wage, because you have fit that into your personal budget. Again, that's a completely separate topic. And, you know, already I've lost a bunch of you as far as personal finance goes, because why would you want to take care of that or, you know, be able to retire at any point? I can promise you there's not too many people in fuel hauling, at least on the broad stroke of the entire country, because we still have plenty of openings, at least here at Gemini Motor Transport. You know, other reputable companies still have plenty of openings everywhere else across the US. So at the end of the day, if you live below your means, and especially if you're willing to move once you have experience or once you're able to transfer somewhere, you can make more money than you're currently making. It's just most people don't want to go through the effort of that. Moving is hard, and they have their reasons, good or bad, you know, or anything and everything in between, as to why they don't want to move and make more money. But it is what it is. I just wanted to throw this out there because, again, if you're interested in fuel hauling and making a better than average wage as a truck driver, and certainly a great wage at specific companies, don't be discouraged. Keep trying. And it might take you a while to get there, especially in this current job market, because it took for me 2 current employees here at Gemini, where I work now, to refer me, as well as a 1.5 years of fuel hauling experience to be able to get here and get into a good company where I was, you know, making a great wage. So it's going to take some time. It's going to take some effort. It may take some sacrifice, some trade-offs, but at the end of the day, you just have to decide, is it worth it for you? And if it's not, cool. Don't complain about the trade-off that you're making then. Otherwise, you know, keep grinding, keep putting your best foot forward. That's all I can say. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Otherwise, if you have any video ideas that you want me to cover in a specific video or make a specific video about, please let me know in the comment section down below. Or if you think I'm wrong and you think, oh, there's just too many people in fuel hauling and all the wages are just terrible everywhere, you can also put that in the comment section down below. Otherwise, take care. God bless. Have a good one.